All right, afternoon, ladies. We're going to go through some defensive shape concepts as we prepare for Superior. Obviously, now that we have two games with Crown and Stout to reference, we can paint some clearer pictures. So, just a reminder, this looks more like our attacking shape. So, when we are really aggressive, we really want almost five across the opposition's back line. But then we also can defend with five behind the ball. If you see the 10, 8, 4, 6, and 5. And then on the turnover, it's dropping back and tightening things up. So again, big shape, boom, we're back in. And again, a tight team is going to limit the space between players and our lines of our team. So we're trying to make the space between our units very tight and small. So really forcing them to play into the width. That's where the space will be. Again, as you've kind of started to notice some of the things that other teams will do, try to play over or try to, in Stout's case, try to play around and out of bounds. So a couple of things to remind us of. So in the transition moment, and this is kind of where our big shape challenges us in transition. So here, we're in that recovery mode. Crown has the ball, and you can see our left wing and left wing back are definitely in that transition mode. And if you also look at our two center mids, are 3v2 right now. You can see they have those three central players. So knowing that the left winger, Sydney, I think in this case, was the one that the ball transitioned from her, our furthest players have to reconnect. Our right wing back's in a good place, but we have to make sure that these two players start to drop in and start to rebalance us. It is very important that we start to help the two center mids. We cannot let them stay stranded and play 3 versus 2. Just this movement here keeps it 4 versus 3. So a little bit more, some clips from Stout. So kind of as we talked about in training is if we start too high, that gives too much space for the other team and it creates foot races. So you can see here, for some reason, our front three started high and didn't drop back and in. Now we're at the half line or near the half line. One big ball, we didn't get pressure on it, and now this creates a bit of chaos. So now we've got a foot race with two of our three center backs. Tyler's recovering in just to save, and then still here we've got a shot-saving tackle just to clean that up. So as we watch it again, look at our starting point, especially what we talked about this morning. We're pretty high, which drags everyone else higher, which makes all the movements backwards even further. So then we kind of just float around the ball. We don't address it. Unopposed, and then she knocks the ball into space, and now we're chasing. So again, that's why we sit at that line that we've been talking about. Another example here, we weren't tight. That backside wing back didn't get reconnected, and so then they find that central penetrative pass. And you can see what that does to us. As soon as she's able to receive and play forward, they're running at us in on goal. So watch again. So as she goes, have to make sure, it's tough to see on that far side, but she's got the ball, but we haven't come across and closed the gap. So now we let the ball come inside, and she receives and turns and causes us all sorts of problems. So again, we would prefer, and you'll see what happens later when we stop cutting that ball out. And this one is that example of a little bit different. You can see Katie reconnects, just drops back and in, doesn't come out to address it, just stays tight, and they play the ball out of bounds. So watch again just how that right-sided winger, so Katie looks like she wants to step, and then she just drops back in and reconnects. And what's the result? They forced out wide, and in this case, they play the ball directly outside. And then another good example, as you can see, our left winger and the left wing back, Tally and Jamie in this clip, really do well to come across, make it tough for their right back or their right center back to play forward. We kind of create that little trap for them, doesn't know, and then they play right in. And then that allows us to start our attacking play immediately. So if you watch this again, we would prefer Jamie to just try to stay face up and not jump and turn, but we've kind of created this little roadblock for this player. And so she's not sure what to do, just kind of kicks it into that middle space. We've got coverage with good shape with Hillis, and now we're able to play. And now we can connect passes. So I think that's a really good example of when our shape is right, the result is a good turnover that allows us then to be calm and continue to play. So hopefully you guys were able to see a little bit more of kind of what we're expecting from a defensive shape perspective, kind of where if it doesn't go right, what can happen to us. And we will train it again tomorrow. We will play it. We will get more familiar with it and talk more. All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.